Since my complete Ireland travel video is nearing 200,000 views, I decided to make a quick video about the top 10 things to do in Ireland. Seriously, I can't believe this place isn't the #1 tourist spot in the world. It will change your life. So I recommend the following expeditions to make your travel to Ireland the best. Number 10, the Ashford Castle. If you watch my travel tips video, you know my secrets to staying in luxury hotels. The Ashford Castle is amazing. It has a great spa, amazing dining, great service, and you are walking down the halls of royalty. You literally feel royal even just staying here. Previously, the Ashford Castle was owned by the Guinness family, as in Guinness beer. You will transport to a medieval time period mixed with the luxuries of today when you're staying at the Ashford Castle. If you still can't, you still should try and stay in a castle somewhere in Ireland. And you can watch my complete Ireland travel video on some of the more affordable, amazing castles we stayed in. Even if you don't stay here, you can come experience some of the activities they have. For example, you can schedule a time to do archery or shooting, or my favorite thing, which is number 9, the Hawk Walk. Like I said, we did this activity at the Ashford Castle. On this excursion, you go out with this hawk perched on your hand and arm, and you travel throughout the landscape of the castle, and all the while this hawk takes off and lands back on your arm. Now, it seems like you are on a walk with this hawk, but in reality, the hawk thinks you're hunting partners. The hawk flies away to go make a kill, but most of the time they're unsuccessful, and then they come back and return. If you happen to be lucky enough, they'll actually make a kill while you were on the walk with them. I was hoping that would happen, but it didn't happen for me. But it doesn't matter, because the experience itself is just so cool. I love animal experiences on all my trips. There are a few of these places. You don't have to do it at the Ashford Castle, but I think the castle is just an added benefit if you can do it here. Number 8, biking the Greenway. The Great Western Greenway used to be a railroad line that was in the west of Ireland, but since then it has been paved over, and now you can ride a bike along that paved road. And what's really awesome is you can experience the countryside of Ireland. This is an authentic experience as you are actually passing through people's property throughout the whole adventure. It is some of the greenest pastures you will ever see. I mean, it's so beautiful. At one point, my wife just had to run through this green pasture filled with sheep. But the things you see on this trip are so beautiful. You pass by some of the most beautiful bridges you will ever see. And at one point we took this detour and we came across this little quaint cemetery and church that was right next to water. It was just gorgeous. I recommend biking the Greenway. Number 7, the Cliffs of Moher. These are sea cliffs in the west of Ireland that make for beautiful pictures as they roll off into the distance. Now, it is important that these cliffs are in the west because that means there is more light on them as the sun sets. The funny thing is, most people take tours here in the morning. Now, here is a Rick Buck travel tip. Go here after hours, as there are way less people. In fact, you can enter areas you normally aren't allowed to go to, including some prime spots like we did to take perfect pictures of the cliffs. If you come here during tourist hours, you get lots of tourists in your pictures, and there aren't really these prime spots you can go to take pictures. If you go after hours, there's a small parking lot across the street that is open for parking after hours too. Now, when we got here, there was a lot of fog, so another tip, just wait a little bit and the mist will normally go away and you get to take some amazing pictures. Number 6, Skellig Michael. This location is so beautiful and so unique. It was selected to be one of the central locations in the newest Star Wars series. Now, that may be why you originally know this island, but it actually was an ancient island with a Gaelic monastery that survived many Viking attacks. On this trip, you take a boat out to the island and then you hike up these stairs, and along the way, it's adorned by all these jagged rock formations, and there's these steep drop-offs that you have to pass through narrowly, and it's just really awesome. The island also has a lot of those adorable little puffins, And during certain times of the year, they're just all over the place. It's really cool. Here's the thing about this place. Only 180 people are allowed on this island per day, and that's during certain times of the year when it's not dangerous. So you have to book it way in advance. I always recommend booking trips way in advance. I explain this in my travel planning tips video, and I will link to that video as well as my complete Ireland travel guide video, and I'll link to those at the end of this video. Oh, and another tip, also we got some of the best footage of this trip because we were the first ones up the island because we took the fastest boat out to the island. I will link to the contact info for the fastest boat company in my Ireland travel itinerary, and that can be found in the description below this video. It's a few dollars to support my channel, but that itinerary will help you save tons of time planning your trip, especially if you want to do a lot of the things that I did. Number 5 is Gus O'Connor's pub. Very close to the Cliffs of Moher is Gus O'Connor's pub. When I first thought of traveling to Ireland, I had this vision of very social pubs where everyone is close and friendly and you're listening to Irish music the whole time and everyone's just having a jolly old time. And I actually don't even drink, so it's funny that this is why I would even want to go there. If that is an image you have, then Gus O'Connor's is the perfect pub for you. I loved their authentic Irish music. Other pubs, it wasn't like that so much. It seemed more gimmicky Irish music. And on top of that, this is just another reason to visit the Cliffs of Moher in the evening, because then you can come to here afterwards and just have blast. Number 4, the Gap of Dunloe horse ride is another must-do. This is one of the most scenic landscapes and is unforgettable in my opinion, and it is best experienced by jaunting cars. And if you don't know, a jaunting car are those cars that are pulled by horses. Going through the Gap of Dunloe carried along by horse, you get to see the strong stone hills accompanied by soft streams, lakes, and lush greenery. You travel alongside sheep, and all of this making an experience and beauty that is just seems unimaginable. And here in the Gap of Dunloe and traveling throughout Ireland's countryside, you really feel like you're time traveling to old Ireland. This is one of the many experiences that make you feel that way, that you're just in another time period in another place. Number 3, the wild deer in Phoenix Park. Now, where I come from, most parks are lucky to have ducks for wildlife. However, in Ireland, their huge park has wild deer. We decided to go have a picnic lunch near those deer. Now, at the time, I didn't know you weren't allowed to feed the deer. So we did, but you should go and just be near them. It's a really, really cool experience. And it feels like something out of a fairy tale. You're just having a fun time, whether it's playing soccer, whether it's eating, whether it's doing whatever you want to do, having a picnic, and you're doing this all in the midst of wild deer. It seems like it was just something out of a fairy tale. Now, number 2. Now you may think I am crazy for this one, but just hear me out. Story time at one of Dublin's oldest pubs, the Brazen Head. The show is called Food, Folklore, and Fairies. Folklore is a big part of Ireland's history, and the Irish consider themselves to have the gift of gab. This is how entertainment used to be, and sitting around and listening to a great storyteller is a lost art, and the storyteller here is a great storyteller. Here is a glimpse.
They're called trooping fairies because of their movement throughout the year. Well, clearly that is not your child. You have got a changeling on your hands.
When I go somewhere on vacation, I really like to do different experiences, and this is one where I love that I branched out and tried something different. I highly recommend it as it just kind of set the mood for the rest of our trip. I can't even believe all the amazing things that I have missed so far, and I'm already at number 1. If you want more, watch my complete travel video for more experiences, like actually playing Gaelic sports that are unique to Ireland, or visiting Trim Castle where Braveheart was filmed, watching this amazing Irish variety show in Killarney. It was awesome. How about staying in the fishing town of Dingle, which was so quaint and unbelievable, or kissing the Blarney Stone at the Blarney Castle, jumping into the ocean at Saltaire in Galway, or visiting the Dark Hedges in Northern Ireland, or staying in Solisloch S Castle, or going to see the Book of Kells. And then there's the beautiful prehistoric Slayhead Drive in the south. So watch that and download my travel itinerary below this video to help plan your trip. It took me months to find everything and plan this out, and I put it all into one quick itinerary for you with links and tips and everything. Okay, now for number 1. Going early to Giant's Causeway. The Causeway is a unique experience to Ireland where the beach is completely formed by these hexagonal basalt columns. They are truly an amazing natural phenomenon formed by quickly cooled lava many moons ago. Now, if you watch my Iceland travel video, you saw a similar location at a black sand beach. If you watch my travel tips video, you know how I planned this out to go before the crowds get to the Giant's Causeway. I was able to drone and do all these amazing shots without tourists because I got here early and I stayed at a hotel nearby. I recommend doing it that way and doing similar tactics like this on all of your trips. I love sharing my travel tips so you can have amazing trips like the ones that I have planned. In my channel, I also talk about a lot of health by doing health experiments on myself, and I share all my home automation tips. I always strive to blow your mind and never waste your time. So like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.